Why is it that no matter how hard you grind, you still feel trapped? Why does it feel like there's an imaginary ceiling above your head that you just cannot break? Why do you look around at all the people around you who are hustling, and a part of you feels like they are all headed for the same destination, broke and hungry? And the scariest question is, why do I sometimes wonder if that is also my future? This is the Nigerian trap, and in this video, I'm going to expose it. So what is the Nigerian cage? Basically, the Nigerian cage is everything that makes you want to jump out from this country. So for people, it may be different things. Some people may say that the main thing is the bad government. They hate the bad government. The second thing for some people may be, oh, I hate the lack of infrastructure. I don't like the way they are running the schools or whatever. So for people, it may be different things. But anything that makes you hate this country and want to just leave it for good and never come back is the Nigerian cage. And in this video, I'm going to do my best to expose what it actually is. And to do justice to that, I'll divide the video into 3 parts. So the first part is the systemic factors that make up the Nigerian cage. The second part is the cultural factors. And the third part is the personal factors. Let me start immediately. Okay, first of all, the systemic factors. And these things are the bulk of the problem. They're the main thing that people blame when they talk about the system and how the system is broken and everything. This is what it is. And so I want to list all of the problems that are under these systemic factors, one by one. The first one, the biggest dog, is corruption. So according to the World's Corruption Perceptions Index, Nigeria's score is 26 out of 100. And you may be like, oh, that's very low. Well, we're pretty good. No! It actually starts from 0 to 100. And 100 stands for a country that is absolutely clean of corruption. And 0 is for a country that is absolutely corrupt. So 26 is around here, which means that we are extremely corrupt as a country. That is the biggest problem that's facing us. The second one, of course, is unemployment. So according to a study by Cambridge, about 35% of Nigerian youths from 15 to 35 years old are unemployed. Or they are working a job that is just 20 hours a week. So they're probably working a job that is less than minimum wage and they're just using it to survive and keep moving. That's the second biggest thing that is troubling us. That when you graduate from university, you don't know whether you're getting a job. It's hit and miss. You don't know whether you're going to get anything. Next thing, of course, is our education system. The education system, as some of you may know, focuses on just rote memorization and is less practical. So even though they graduate a lot of people that come out with good degrees, they don't have a practical knowledge of what they're actually talking about, which is another thing that is pulling us back. And of course, the last thing is infrastructure. And to me, I believe that this is the biggest one. That this is the biggest problem. Because let's say that you are a young man, like 21 years old, and you just heard about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, and you watched the documentary of how he built Facebook and made it $1 billion company. And in your mind, you're having this fire of, yes, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stay in my room or in my garage or whatever, and I'm going to build this thing and make it wonderful. Okay, now, you carry your cracked laptop with bad battery and you connect it to a socket and you start charging and you start working on this thing, you start writing your code. 2 hours later, NEPA is taking light. You're like, no, I want to be resilient. I'm not going to allow one problem to stop me. I'm going to keep going. So you go and find another place. And let's say you go and you on your gen. You buy from on your gen. Well, fuel is 1,500 naira now. So good luck. But the point of what I'm saying is just that you don't have the same leeway that people in developed countries have. If you say that you want to build next Facebook, well, as it may take those people there, like, I don't know how long it took Mark Zuckerberg, like 5 years. It may take you like 20 years before you build anything that's close to that, just because of the infrastructure. That is how bad it is. These are the systemic problems. These are the biggest problems that everyone is always talking about. What if I told you that this is not the end of the problem? Everything that we talked about, you think that, yeah, this is where the problem in Nigeria ends now. No. Apart from the systemic problems, the next one, which may potentially be even more dangerous, are the cultural factors. Now, what do I mean by the cultural factors? Well, first of all, let's remember the definition of culture, which is just a people's way of life, the way they've always known life as, and the way they are used to. Now, the culture in Nigeria has several problems that limit you, and I'm going to list them now. The first problem that they have is that the definition of success is very small. Let me explain. Your family's expectations for you, the expectation that society and everyone around you have, is just go to school and get a degree and become a good doctor, a small-time doctor, a small-time lawyer, and just be making your money and just have enough so that you're not in abject suffering. Just have enough so that you can buy a car, you can live well and cope with Nigeria's suffering so that you're not feeling it too much. That's the dream that they have, and it comes from a good place, a very perfect place. They don't want you to suffer, they just want you to be okay. But the problem here is that because the bar for success that they have set for you is very low, anytime you start striving for something more than that, there's a lot of friction from there. And so the thing is, when you want to aim higher, when you say that, okay, these people in abroad are making $10,000 a month, why can't I do the same thing? This guy built this big tech startup, why can't I do the same thing? When you start aspiring for those type of things, there's a generalized subtle hostility towards you. And this is not something that people will necessarily say to you, but you can just feel it. Because you being ambitious and you rejecting mediocrity somehow invalidates their way of life. Because they see you as different, they see you as, you think you're better than us. And the reason why I feel that this is very painful is because as a human being, you want to be part of the in group. You want to feel beloved. You want to feel accepted where you are. And so if you are staying here and everybody is disapproving what you are doing, even subtly, then it will reduce your energy, it will reduce your spirit, and it can stop you from pursuing that thing you want to pursue. So this is why it is very, very dangerous. Now, let me give you an example from my own life. So sometime last year, I started going to a gym. And the gym had a gym subscription, of course. And because I was spending money on that subscription, my auntie who I'm staying with started subtly disapproving what I was doing. Sometimes you even say it outright. You're wasting money. Like, why are you pursuing this thing? What's the use of this thing? And even though she didn't say it outright and people around me didn't say it outright, I could feel that spirit of, you think you're better than us. You think that you think you're a white man, you're behaving like a white man. Yes. That's the exact thing that they say. And although sometimes they may not say it overtly maliciously, you yourself begin to think, what am I doing? Why is no one validating this thing I'm trying to do to move forward? And so how that ended is that eventually, I've mentioned this in a previous video, I ran out of money and I couldn't do a gym subscription again. So now I just work out at home. And anytime that someone asks me, you're not going to the gym again? And I'm like, oh, I just have to work out at home now. I can see my auntie softly laughing because she feels like, that feeling of you're moving ahead has subtly come down. So this is the truth. And this doesn't mean that she's malicious or whatever, not necessarily. It just means that the way that everyone has been conditioned around me is to have a particular standard for life. A particular standard that is okay by them. And the truth is, they are not bad for wanting this. I don't like to moralize people into good or bad. I don't like classifying people as that. But it's just that this is the standard that they have set. This is the way that they know. And so if you try to break down mold, they will come after you. It's just how life is. It's not a factor of their malicious or whatever. So this is something that I've come to understand. And it is very dangerous for someone who wants to break out of this cage. So the second problem I've realized with these cultural factors is that there's a certain obsession with status in our community. Now let me explain. First of all, all humans are conscious about status. They love status. We love to compare where we rank in the hierarchy of other human beings. That's natural. But the truth is that Africans and Nigerians in particular, we tend to do that to a higher degree. So we tend to want to flex more. We tend to want to flex more and show off what we have. And this doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. Like I said, I don't like to moralize whether it's good or bad. But the truth is that because the flexing is so prevalent, even people who are broke, even people who are not where they want to be yet, they tend to also want to do it. So this is the broke guy in uni who goes to go and buy an iPhone 15, even though he's very broke. He just buys it so that he can have it and he can show off to girls and everything, even though he knows that he's absolutely broke. And the reason that people do it, like I said, is because we humans, we are social animals. We love to be accepted by the group. And so if your group is promoting this type of behavior, of flexing, of looking like the big guy, then you want to look like the big guy. If not, you'll be subtly ostracized. And so this is the second biggest thing, because even people who are not financially stable, they are pressured to flex the same way that others who are financially stable are. And they end up just lowering their finances even more. So this is something else that is a problem. So after the systemic problems and the cultural problems, the last one is the personal problems. Because you are fighting two people outside, two enemies. And then inside, there's the last one, which is you. So let me explain what the different factors are. The first one is laziness. Because once you tell yourself that you want to do something great, by definition, your body is going to resist. No matter what it is, your body is going to try and resist and try and stay where it is. And laziness also comes with escapism. Because since you have set that goal for yourself, even when you try to be lazy, your mind is going to keep reminding you, why are you not doing this thing? What are you doing here? You are betraying yourself. And then you will now try to distract yourself from that voice in your head. So for an example, for me, it was just, I'll distract myself with YouTube or with food. I'll just like watch a lot of YouTube documentaries or videos or comedy or whatever. Then I'll be eating so that I can just distract myself from the voice in my head that is telling me to go and walk. So those are the two things that are like the base, at the base level. But let's say that you overcome them. Let's say that you become hardworking and you gain some ambition and you start moving towards your goals. There's still another enemy. And that enemy is self-doubt. Because now, as I've talked about the systemic problems and the cultural problems, your mind is going to remind you about those things. It's going to tell you, look at you. Look at the country that you're in. Look at the people that surround you. Look at the facilities they are using. What makes you think you can do this thing? Who the hell do you think you are? And then these thoughts just keep coming. They keep coming. They keep coming. Every time you try to walk, they keep coming. But the question that you should ask yourself is that, has there been another person like me who came from my situation and who still achieved this thing? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, there have been several people who did it. So we look at people that came from Nigeria, came from Africa, came from broke places, and still made a name for themselves, still created something big in the world. So I'm talking about people like Chinua Achebe, people like Wole Soyinka, people like Chimamanda, people like, even in the business world, because I'm calling all the writers, people even in the business world like Dangote, the richest man is from Nigeria. So these are people that came from the same background as me and still did what they want. So it is possible. It's not easy, it's not straightforward, but it's possible. And that possibility is what you can bet your life on. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this other video that I made about how I killed the god of potential. And if you like this channel, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you later.